Welcome to the Nonprofit Solutions Matter Daily Radio Show, where we tackle the tough issues that keep founders up at night and answer your questions on everything from fundraising and board recruitment to marketing and resource development. If you're looking to start a nonprofit, raise money, organize your board, reactivate your organization, or chat about your mission, text the number on the screen to book a free call. We're happy to provide clarity and connect you with the resources and tools to help you move forward. Now, let's jump into today's program. Stay tuned as our Vice President dissects today's topic. Feel free to ask questions by dropping your comment below. Let's get started.
Welcome. What a lovely day it is. Today on our radio show, we want to talk about how to harness the power of your board's network in raising money for your organization. Over the past weeks, we've been talking about how to involve your board members in fundraising, how to get them to support you in fundraising. And today we're coming here to talk about how you can harness your board members' network to raise money for your organization. Um, the truth is, most board members are connected. Some have friends who are business owners. Some have family members who are CEOs of businesses. Some have, friends, acquaintances who are, in top positions across different brands. So if you're not harnessing the network of your board members, of course, you're losing out on a lot of opportunity to help your organization raise money. It is easier to get somebody who already knows your organization or already knows somebody within your organization to donate to your organization than to get somebody who's just hearing about you for the first time. So this is really why you must harness your board members network to raise money, because when you don't do so, you're leaving a lot of value, a lot of opportunity on the table. But the big question today is, how do you really harness their network? How do you harness your board members network? I think that's really where lots of founders, uh, board chair, board members, this is really where they get it all confused and mixed up, right? How do we get to introduce our organization to our network? How do we get our board members to also be able to do so? So today I'm going to be walking you through some very special steps we've helped organizations with to get their board members to, to start introducing the organization to their network and then creating opportunities for the organization. So, but before I go into it, if you have any step that have worked for you, this is a radio show, it's an interactive session. Please comment below, drop your opinions, your suggestions. Before the end of the show, I'll likely talk about it. So let's go on. The very first step to ensure your board members harness their network for fundraising for your organization is to bring in what we call 100% board giving. Right? It sounds quite, not it, but it's really starts from that point where your board members agree to be, to 100% board giving within your organization. If your board members can't give to your organization, it is absurd. It is, inconsiderate to expect anybody else to give to your organization. So that's really the first step. You must start with 100% board giving. People who have given off their own resources are more likely to ask people to give. But if I have not given of my own resources, it's most likely not going to, I won't be in a very good place to be able to ask others, because if I have not put my money where my mouth is, why should I be asking others to do so? So really, it starts at that very beginning where you're bringing board members in and you're letting them know we practice 100% board giving in this organization. Remember, I said when you're bringing them in, you don't bring board members in already, and that's when you now want to now start you know, bringing in 100% board giving. You do it at the very beginning before they come in. Now, that said, what's the next step to be able to get your board members to, open up their network to your organization? The second step is by planning with them. We have this challenge across nonprofits where founders just go about, dumping ideas on their board, trying to get everybody to execute on their ideas. This is really wrong because getting people to execute on your ideas like pulling them along or forcing them to do something. But when you plan with them, you give them ownership of that idea. You give them the opportunity to criticize the idea, to recommend, new solutions. That way they get an ownership of, the idea. They get an ownership of the organization. That way they are more likely to tell others about the organization. In community development, we say people who plan together execute together. So it means if you plan with them, they are most likely going to want to, share that with others and tell others about the organization. Aside that, planning with them also gives them a good understanding of the organization, where you're going, what's happening, what you have to do. That is also necessary when they begin to tell others because they need to completely understand what they're telling others for people to buy into it. So you see, planning with them is very important to ensuring that you get access to their network, and not just their network, but also their support. The third strategy we'll look at is asking them to introduce the organization. So it's very, it's normal that because they are board members, they are just supposed to introduce the organization. But in reality, we found that it's not so. Most board members would not introduce the organization until they are asked to do so. So your job is to continue to ask them to introduce the organization, talk about the organization, introduce their organization to their colleagues, their friends, their social network. Just make sure they are introducing the organization, that they are a board member within this organization wherever they go and wherever they show up. Another important aspect of getting them to participate is equipping them with the right resources, the right tools, pitch deck, right materials to be able to introduce the organization. So, one of the things we do at Solution Matter is to equip board members with the tools, resources, training that they need to be able to help you properly represent the organization. So, if each board member have something like a pitch deck, an elevator speech, outreach messaging, all that would help the board member more likely to connect your organization to their network, because they don't have to think, what do I have to say or what do I have to write out there? They already have that content available, they already have those resources available. All they have to do is just send it out there. You make them more likely to go through when you provide them those tools. But when you leave them to create it by themselves, you are most likely going to have a struggling board member who is not even confident on what he's sending out there, therefore not creating the kind of results you're looking out for. Then another aspect is setting up a committee or a system to follow up when board members make these introductions. So now a board member has introduced the organization. What next? It wouldn't be best for the board member to be the one who's following up. That way, I think there's already a lot of familiarity in that process. And then if the board member is following up, yes, though if you have a board member who's willing to follow up on their introduction, you are really very lucky. But this strategy is really for the board member to open up the door, to initiate the discussion, to introduce the organization, and then a committee or a system set up in place within the organization follows up on that introduction. That way, these board members can, keep opening these doors as fast as possible, and then the committee keep going into, make the ask and get them to support the organization. Of course, you can still get your board members to go complete the follow up, but usually, if you want to create more results, there has to be a system in place to ensure that follow up. Now, what next? How do we get our board members to introduce their network? Also, another good strategy is to bring them into the fundraising committee. So, the committee that's supposed to follow up after that introduction, you can still have them join that committee, because when they join that committee, it now becomes, a part of their activity to, one, introduce the organization to new network, to go into those conversations, to also convince these people to give, right? That way you are reinforcing your funnel, your fundraising funnel. So having these board members also join these committees, so that through these committees they can be able to follow up on their contact, or through these committees they can be able to support the fundraising, you are most likely going to get them to harness their network for you, because when they begin to walk around fundraising, they begin to get ideas, they begin to know, I know this person, I know who we can talk to. That way, it's really easier to get them to be involved. And then, lastly, guiding them to share their board experience across their social media network, across their community. So we found that most board members, their community, their social media network, don't even know that they are board members within an organization. And that's really a limiting factor if you're looking to get into their network. So board members must be able to let the public know, let the social network know that I am a board member of this organization. And not just I'm a board member, this is the kind of work we're doing, this is how we've been helping. Just by making that, awareness, just creating that awareness, letting people know I'm a board member, this is what we do, you can raise far more money than you would ever know. Because some people, all they have to do is know that this is what you do, and then of course they are going to come out loud to come support you. So really, it's having them go out there, having them introduce themselves as board member, having them put that up on their social media profile to say I'm a board member of this organization, having them talk across social media about the work you do, the people you serve, the transformation your organization creates. It's a huge game changer when it comes to fundraising. So I hope these few points have been able to help you understand that indeed your board members, you can harness your board members network for fundraising for your organization. And the actually practical steps you can start taking. One, ensure you have a culture of 100% board giving in your organization. People need to be able to put their money where their mouth is. That's only how they can be able to tell others. Two, ensure you plan with them, because when you plan with them, they are more likely to execute with you. And also, they are more likely to suggest ideas, introduce you to networks, and just take ownership of the entire process and fundraising, because their ideas are part of the plans you are executing on. Again, ask them to introduce the organization to their network. If you don't ask, it's very rare that these guys will take action. People take action when they are asked to do so. Again, another aspect is equipping them with pitch deck, necessary materials, tools, marketing messaging that's going to help them in terms of, uh, introducing and talking about the organization out there. Another key strategy is bringing them into committees where the work is done in terms of raising money. Another key aspect is inducting them into these fundraising committees and setting up a system that follows up, with these with these prospects that the board members introduce to the organization. And then lastly, guiding them to share their experience, guiding them to share their work across social media, across their network, so that people would know that they are indeed affiliated with this organization, thereby increasing the likelihood of they donating and supporting the organization. So, like I said, I'm very happy to see you all here today, and we've been able to go through this. I want you to take action. I don't want you to sit on this. Your board members could be the gold mine you've been looking for. You can harness their network and raise money through their network. Don't sit on it. Get them to participate, get them to join you to raise money. Your mission is important, your organization is important. So until I see you tomorrow again, it's going to be bye bye for now.
Thank you for tuning in to the Nonprofit Solutions Matter Daily radio show. We hope today's insights have been valuable in helping you tackle the challenges and opportunities within the nonprofit sector. We're here to support you in starting, raising funds for, and growing your nonprofit. If you have any questions or need further assistance, don't hesitate to reach out. You can send us an email to book a free discovery call, or simply comment below, and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. We look forward to hearing from you and helping your organization thrive. Until next time, keep making an impact and stay tuned for more great content. Thank you.